Suella braverman's illegal immigration bill is based on one assumption, and that is that deterrence works. It doesn't. It doesn't. Over 26,000 people have died trying to cross the Mediterranean. Many have died trying to cross the English Channel. Families, friends, fellow travellers have watched these people die. The stories haunt anybody who is seeking refuge. These people are motivated not by fear, but by hope. And that's a very difficult thing to extinguish. Although Braverman is trying her very best to do so, the reason people move, the reason people take to the small boats is because against all the evidence, they hope that it will get better. Against all the deaths, they hope that it will get better. They hope. They hope that their imagined destination will be their place of refuge. If only I can get there, I will be safe. They've crossed deserts. They've dodged gangs. They've avoided border guards. They've lived through unimaginable hardships on their journeys. And they've experienced, in most cases, death at first hand. They've been boarded up into the back of lorries. They've been shoved under cars. They've seen their families pulled apart. More than that, a deterrent policy like the one that Suella Braverman is proposing would only work if people knew about it. Where do people who are trying to get refuge in the UK come from? How do they know what they're doing? They talk to their families, to social media, to agents, to smugglers, to fellow travellers. They don't get the information from Suella Braverman. And if they do, they probably think it's false. They cannot believe that anybody in this chosen destination country could be so venomous and so horrible as to dream about victimizing them. They cannot imagine it. And therefore it's dismissed. Therefore it's not real. And the present government, the present government in Britain thinks that the Australian system worked. The Australian system worked because the migration dried up. I don't think people necessarily turned back. More than that, the distance across the sea that migrants had to cover was significantly greater. Will these people seek asylum elsewhere? That is the whole British government plan. But the French, the EU, are not going to welcome that. Britain already receives fewer asylum claims than any comparable European country. In 2022, Britain received 85,000 asylum claims. Germany received 296,555. France received 179,705. Spain received 128,015. Greece, significantly more. Italy, significantly more. The illegal migration bill is designed to make the difference between Britain and European countries even greater. It's not going to work because it can only work if European countries cooperate with us and if there are no alternative routes. Are there alternative ways into the UK? Of course there are. Of course there are. We might see refugees switching back to travelling to the UK by lorry. This was the traditional way of getting into the UK before boats were seized upon by the smugglers. I have every suspicion that's what they will go back to, particularly as they know that all efforts will be applied to the coast. Less effort to the motorways. So once again, we will find on the turn-off on the M1 towards Daventry, there will be migrants dropping out of the back of lorries, once again. Maybe there will be other routes to the UK. Maybe we will find some sort of way of smuggling people on drones. The idea that Suella Braverman can dream about sending people to Rwanda if they've crossed the channel, this is nonsensical. This might win a few votes in May. It might even win a few votes in the general election in 2 years' time. But that's all it's going to do. I think it's more likely to lose votes, because when voters stop and think about the reality, this isn't going to stop the migration. This is going to increase it. This is going to reinforce the efforts of reinvigorate the efforts of the smugglers to get their money and to abuse so many vulnerable individuals, because they'll think, well, they're no different to the British government. They're both abusing these people now. It's not just the smugglers who are the abusive ones. It's Suella Braverman and all her cronies. We're all lads in it together. We're all evil.